All right, it is Monday, November 28th at 5:15 p.m. and this session of the Human Rights Commission is now in session. We would like to welcome our new member, Dev Loverood. Deb, would you like to say a few words introducing yourself?
Sure. I am the Chief Operating Officer for Southern Minnesota Behavioral Health. Formerly, it was Sioux Trails. I came to Sioux Trails in 2000, so spent a number of years there till about 2009. Left, did a few other things, and ended up coming back into the mental health about 5-6 years ago. So really enjoy the nonprofit work and kind of giving back to the community. So lived in New Ulm 23 years. Have 2 grown sons and married. So
Welcome. Thanks for the joining.
thank you.
All right, first up on our agenda is approval from last meeting's minutes. You'll find those in front of you. Do we have any questions or discussion on last month's minutes? If not, do we have a motion to approve minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting.
I'll second that motion.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to our budget report. You'll find that on your agenda as well. I don't believe anything has changed since the last one, if I can get this to open. I did get clarification from Lisa. Mine's not opening now for some reason. But we had talked at the last meeting about whether this one of the fees on here was for the Greater Mankato Diversity Council fee, and that was not what it was for. Can you see on there what one we talked about before? There was some fee we had discussed, mine won't open. And we had wondered if that was what that money was for, but we have not paid for the Greater Mankato Diversity Council trainings yet.
Is it the
So
ad
that has
they
not
were
come
wondering
out.
about?
That might be what
Yeah,
we had
there's
thought.
an amount for the ad for the training.
So we have about 50% of our budget remaining. However, we have not paid for the training sessions yet out of that budget.
So just to clarify, it looks like the first number. What was the first speaker fee on there?
I don't remember what she said that was. I'd have to check back in my emails from her, but it is not for
Okay.
the Greater Mankato Diversity Council. We have not received a bill from them yet, is what she said. So I can double check and get back to you guys on that. The city council work session, I had a scheduling error and came on the wrong day and did not make it to the meeting. That is 100% my bad. So I did send an email out to the individual who is in charge of that and had contacted us originally, waiting to hear back from that one. So we'll get back to you guys on that when we hear back from her. I don't think there's any action on the budget at this point. So moving on to our events committee report. Do we have someone from the events committee that would like to talk about the Human Rights Award at all? Otherwise, I was going to try to read the nominations. I pulled up the meeting that we talked about them because we are going to do a closed ballot vote today. And we did clarify, Sam, you are unable to vote, but you are able to share your feedback regarding the nominations if you so choose beforehand. But as a student commissioner, you're not a voting member.
When is the award? Like, when is the ceremony?
I don't believe we had chosen a date yet. Usually, I think in the past what has happened is we've notified the winner and then set a date that works with their schedule, like a meeting time that works with their schedule.
Because I know there's been a couple years where we had it in November. There was a couple times that we had it in January, and I know we're already, past November, but I just wanted to make sure that,
Yep.
with the holidays and everything, I don't like to be rushed into it.
Well, and the other question is, after we vote tonight, do we want to announce the winner tonight, or do we want to announce it at the next meeting and give the votes to the event committee to? So I guess that's, I don't know if there's a past precedent for that.
I don't
But do we
believe there
want to
is.
announce it here at the meeting or before, letting the winner know, or would we want to let the winner know first?
I believe it's usually been announced first at the meeting.
Okay.
You're my senior member here.
Yeah, I
You are
believe
too,
you're-
So
Yeah. I just,
Wendy's
last
not
year,
here.
there was just the one nomination, so
Oh,
there wasn't
there wasn't.
much
big
to
surprise.
figure out.
I guess if someone feels strongly either way, otherwise we could maybe make a motion to either,
If we announce it tonight, they're gonna know. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know. I think we should just do it tonight instead of waiting another month and
yeah.
pushing everything.
are you making a motion?
I'll make a motion to to count the ballots and announce the winner tonight.
Okay.
I will second that motion.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the 2 nominations, and then Sam, if you want to give any feedback, don't feel on the spot if you don't want to say anything, and then we'll pass this out, and then who is on the events committee here? All right, you get to be the tabulator. That's the right word. Okay, so our first nominee was the Prism Group at New Ulm High School. It says, because the group provides a safe space for LGBTQ youth and their allies, they have participated in conversations with school administration in order to encourage a safe and supportive environment for all students. They are visible in their community attending rallies, parades, and marches. And then the second nominee is Josie Ringhofer. And the because on her nomination, if my phone will load, says Josie was instrumental in getting, sorry, it's going really slow, in getting the Gay Straight Alliance formed at the high school. She has been courageous in using her voice to advocate for LGBTQ students by speaking at school board meetings, talking to members of the media, and discussing marginalized community needs with school administration. So those are the 2 nominees that we have. Sam as the student commissioner and someone that's in the high school, do you have any thoughts or feedback to share?
It's kind of hard to pick the 2, I'd say, like not really voting, but just from a student perspective, because at the school, when you think of the Prism Club, Josie's like one of the faces of the club, and she kind of puts herself out there to make a safe environment for students. But at the same time, all the individuals who are in the Prism Club are kind of, what's the word? Like they're very brave for putting themselves, in a comfort space where they can be themselves. If that makes sense.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Okay, do we want any other discussion or do we just want to vote? All right, we're voting? All right, she even left pens for us. Lisa, if you're watching this, thank you so much. All right. And then we're gonna give them to Chad oh, everyone already has pens now? Do we all get one? Yeah? All right.
Thanks.
Does that mean I vote like 4 times? We'll put those votes aside. All right. Those are blank ones, sorry.
Do this at the end of the meeting? Just announce it at the end, or?
Let's do it right now. And you be a little drum roll. Make it a good announcement.
Do you need to know the final tally? You just want me to announce it?
I think it just matters the winner, I
Okay.
believe.
So who's doing the drum roll? All right. The winner is the Prism Group.
All right. Awesome. Well, then, congratulations to both of our nominees. And events committee, we maybe should find a time can get it scheduled through Lisa to meet and figure out the award presentation and stuff like that.
Okay.
Awesome.
Do we know the best person to contact? Anybody know who that would be? Kind of the
I will
Organize.
look and see who, I feel like maybe the staff coordinator would be the person to contact.
We know who
Or
that
is there a
is.
president?
yeah.
I will look it
Okay.
up and
thank
see
you.
maybe the president and the staff person would be who we should look for.
Yeah, that was-
And then I
had
will
that question.
communicate
Who
that
do we-
to
Who do we
the-
let know and who's going to let them know?
And then they'll kind of decide. So the events committee, you guys can decide how you want to contact them and fill them in. And I will get the contact info for you. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. Moving on. Did you have something to say? No? Sorry. Moving on to our education committee report. Kristen, you picked up some stuff from Wendy. Did you want to talk about the poster and essay contest a little?
So the education committee met and came up with the topic for the poster and the essay contest. And she has attached a letter to the schools with the information and then the forms. So the topic for the poster will be, what does diversity look like to you? And the essay topic is, how has diversity impacted our country, our community, and you personally? And the deadline will be March 1st, 2023. So we just need to get this material out to the schools. Wendy did was unable to be here, but I picked up some optional lesson plans from her that if we want to give them to the schools to use them with the contest if they would like. So I have that here. I honestly have not had time to look at the lesson plans, but it has the information in it with the letter, the entry form, and then the optional lesson.
And did she say she had already sent a letter to the schools, like a digital communication, or no?
I don't think she did. I think she just had all the material ready to go. So she put some lesson plans, one for the poster and one for the essay contest.
So after the meeting, if anyone wants to volunteer to
to distribute
distribute
the
to schools, dropping off to schools, if anyone wants to grab an envelope.
And we had talked about previously last year, we didn't get a lot of participation. It was kind of an odd year. So we have this kind of lined up to coincide with Martin Luther King Day. And just if we have if you have a contact in the school that you can actually talk to just say, hey, we're dropping this off. Here's the information, just to try and actually get a little bit more participation this time.
I can
just
think of a
that.
great high school contact.
Absolutely. So I have that information.
Awesome.
And they go to each of the, like all of the, each school,
Right. So elementary and high school, because there's the different.
parochial.
And parochial, yep.
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 Okay.
So we can distribute after the meeting and give those out. We have the Beyond Safe Spaces presentation on here. This is something I believe Wendy attended through work and thought it would be something really cool that we could possibly facilitate through the HRC. I believe the speaker had agreed to waive her fee. And if we can use the community center for free as a commission, there would be no fee other than promotion of the event. However, I don't really know a whole lot of details about it, and Wendy is not able to be here today. I know that it was about creating safe spaces for LGBTQ students, I think was my understanding. So I think she had framed it as something we could invite school board members to, teachers, CEUs and stuff. And that was how she had been aware of it, was through her work. So I don't know if this is something we have enough information to move on, or if people want to table it until Wendy's back, or
I remember Wendy talking about it. I don't know how comfortable I would feel making a motion on it today. So I say we should table it until Wendy is here.
I would agree. I would just like to hear kind of a little summary of the speaker's presentation.
more information.
That makes sense.
Okay. Are we all good with tabling that until the next meeting? All right. Awesome. Moving on to our executive committee report. The last Greater Mankato Diversity Council training, I don't know how many people we had. It was slightly better than the one before, but it wasn't a huge turnout. So we had Mohammed reached out to us. He had actually asked before the previous one if we had thought about going online at all to garner some more interest and maybe if people would feel more comfortable participating online or something. So that's an option. Then he reached out again before this one. He reached out today to Kristen and I asking if we would be willing to do an online venue.
Yeah, and
I mean, it would save us
It would.
money on mileage.
Yep.
So I don't know if we want to have a discussion about that and what we think about that.
And I didn't respond just because I thought a good opportunity to discuss here, and then we can respond tomorrow. I mean, it was low attendance. You don't get the personal interaction virtually, but
I know that was the concern originally, that we didn't want to do virtual, but if we're not getting a whole
Yeah.
lot of attendance either way, it might get some people that maybe aren't as comfortable
or maybe more
or
convenient at home.
traveling or, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be willing to go virtual with this session just because of the turnout with the first two.
And given that, I mean, there's snow potentially, I mean, we don't want to reschedule again.
Yeah.
Do other people have thoughts or ideas?
Because that's the day after tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So we would need to do like a social media blast. I don't know how many places we have stuff hanging up. The schools I can talk to. Shouldn't be too hard to tell, but what are our thoughts?
I mean, I'm okay either way. And like you said, the snow too. I didn't even think about that. I hate to have to cancel it again or move it again.
Well, I mean, it would be sort of interesting to see if being online,
If it even mattered.
yeah, makes a difference. Does it, get better turnout that way? And then again, with the supposed snow coming, maybe it's a good time to just have that way.
Is there any other discussion surrounding? Or do we have a motion to potentially move it to online?
There were CEUs offered with that as well for people that
Yep.
were interested. So that's still an option?
CEUs would still be an option.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe we could
Like
have
an email
people put
address
their
or something.
emails in the chat box or something, and we could send a virtual CEU,
Yep.
or
And
we
then-
could have a
then
hard
that's a good
copy
way to verify that they actually were watching,
pickup. Mhm.
if you have them put their email in the chat box.
Yeah.
Smart.
That's just what I've done in when I've gone to trainings. That's how I've gotten mine. So
I motion to go virtual for this Wednesday, the 30th, with the diversity training.
I'll second that.
is there any other discussion on it? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I will get in touch with Lisa tomorrow because there's that option for registration. So I'll make sure we reach out to the people who've actually registered. I know it might not.
Because
be
we would
very
have their
many.
email.
Yep, and just let them know. And will he give us the link?
He
He
had
said
said
that,
if we
right?
did do
Okay.
that he could
Okay.
generate a link that he would send.
Okay. I'll email
So-
him first thing in the morning.
So, okay, thank you, Kristen. All right, Public Relations Committee. So at our last meeting, we had kind of discussed about the process for letters to the editor. We had talked about if it would be possible to vote or via email as a group without violating open meeting laws. Lisa clarified that, and that is not something we could do. We cannot vote by email. The only way we would be able to vote would be like in a meeting, either like this or through responses. So I guess it'd be back to the drawing board for if we are doing letters to the editor in the future. I don't know if that's something that the Public Relations Committee wants to like come up with suggestions for. I think that's pretty much, what is it, Wendy and, is it Wendy, you and I at this point?
Is Allie. I was gonna say
Ally.
Allie's now.
So maybe that's something that the Public Relations Committee needs to meet and have some suggestions for moving forward. I know there haven't been a whole lot of letters to the editor, but we should be prepared if we do need to submit one and have a process in place.
That sounds good.
So the Public Relations Committee meeting before our next larger meeting and coming up with some suggestions for how we could have that be effective and timely in response. Allie, you look confused.
I'm education. I just remembered I'm on education, not public relations.
Is it? I feel like we added somebody.
I think it's Wendy, actually. It's Wendy and
And us too.
Sure.
Okay. We can double check.
I will double
All right.
check.
So whoever's on Public Relations Committee will meet. They haven't met in a while, so. Current human rights issues. Does anyone have anything that they would like to discuss at this time? None at this time? All right, awesome. That's a good thing, right? Our legislative update. Have you heard anything from Dan?
I haven't heard anything. No, and I haven't seen anything that Lisa has sent out recently that applies. So no update.
Okay, awesome. Janelle, our city council liaison, anything to report?
Only that Deb was appointed and the work session on the budget, which you have an email out. So that's it.
All right, thanks, Janelle.
You're welcome.
Other business, was anyone able to make it to the October 27th Weaponizing History event?
I wasn't going to spend money on it.
Oh, there was a fee.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
didn't know that.
there was. And that was I believe it was the soccer banquet night. I was unable to make it, but, well, I guess we don't have a summary from that then. All right, we need to discuss the human rights logo, the new logo that Aaron, so for those of you that are newer to the commission, so Aaron, who was a commissioner that is no longer with us, had recently, like within the past 3 or 4 months, is that right? Maybe 6 months, designed an updated logo for us. We approved it as a commission. This was without myself knowing that there was some history with the original logo, which was designed by Jackie Kriebel, who was a former commissioner as well. I guess that it was decided back when the first logo was approved, it was decided that if there was ever going to be an update or revision of the logo, that Jackie would be contacted and allowed to modify her logo first, and that if we did ever change the logo, that everything with the old logo would need to then be removed and replaced. And so I invited Jackie to come speak. She was unable to speak tonight. So it kind of puts us in a tight spot because with the turnover and stuff, I was unaware of these things until Jackie reached out. And I know Aaron put work into that, and I know Jackie put a lot of work into that. Jackie was saying that there was probably close to $1,000 spent on things like the signage and things that we already have that would then need to be basically updated. Yep. She also wanted to point out that the logo, she felt that the logo staying consistent held with what the former commissioners at that time had intended. So, and I wasn't on the commission at that time. Were you? I
Not
think
at the
this was a
time
while ago.
Yeah, not when the logo was actually created, but
Okay.
I do remember her talking about it because I actually had problems with how the t-shirts looked because the logo was very busy. I don't know how many of you remember what the logo looks like, but when you shrink the logo down, it's just kind of, I don't want to say messy, but it's very kind of clustered together. It's hard to tell what it actually is. That was my main concern with it. So I do remember asking her about the logo, and I do remember her saying, can't change the logo. So that's all I'm going to really say about that. But
And so, just to get everyone on the same page, the things that we have ordered at this point, we have personally bought shirts with the new logo. We have bookmarks and brochures with the new logo. The signs, there was actually a miscommunication and they printed a single sign. And so it actually worked out. So I said, stop, wait, let me figure out what we're doing with the logo first before we print all the yard signs. So we have not printed yard signs yet. I guess I don't know what the right fix is, but it does sound like, based on a previous agreement, that if we do decide to stay with the new logo, that we would need to reproduce all of the other materials that contain the old logo, if that makes sense.
I say we stick with the old logo because it's more fitting in what New Ulm is. Like, you know, even though I don't like the fact that it's got a historical figure on it, but you know, it's part of New Ulm's, what do you want to say?
History.
Yeah, it's part of New Ulm. Well, it's not New Ulm's history, but it's, you know, a part of New Ulm.
Yeah.
It is a recognizable symbol
Right.
for New
When
Ulm.
you see it,
The New Ulm icon
Yeah,
that's
when people see
readily recognized. Yes.
so I say we just stay with the old logo. But
I agree. Unfortunately, none of us were aware of the previous agreement. We didn't realize what we were doing. So I think just to go back to the old one, we'll just kind of keep everything. We won't have to reproduce stuff. We do have the new bookmarks and stuff.
But there's nothing wrong with, you know, with the bookmark just because it's got a little bit of a different logo. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, and I would like to acknowledge, regardless of if we go with the old logo or the new logo, that both Jackie and Aaron put a lot of time and effort
Yes,
into
yes.
this. And I'd like to acknowledge that and share appreciation for
right.
the work they did. And not
Just
that one is better than the other, but
volunteering that time. And,
yes.
Yeah.
So, and I think they're both amazing and have different
But I think
qualities.
somewhere,
So,
as, you know, because this commission obviously continually evolves, that somewhere we should get, that stays at the forefront, the history on the logo, so that we don't find
I
a
think it-
commission 3 years down the road in this same position.
yeah.
It would be good to get some clarification too, because you mentioned that she might be willing to adapt it or change it slightly. I mean, I just can see over time it's gonna need to evolve in some way maybe. And how do we should have a conversation how to go about doing that if we need to.
And so I can reach out to Larry Cesar, who was the former chair at the time. And I've been in contact with Jackie when she contacted Wendy originally, and Wendy directed her to talk to me. And I said, I can put it on the agenda. I'll share the concerns, and just my apologies for not knowing that this was the expectation. So I can reach out to Larry and figure out the specifics, and then to Jackie and kind of come up with a plan moving forward if we were to ever alter. And just let the record show that we appreciate the time and effort that Aaron put into designing another logo.
Maybe where kind of that history could go, and that, you know, we would need to consult with Jackie if there were ever any modifications down the road. Maybe that could go in the
The orientation packet.
orientation
You
packet. There
just
we
got
go.
one, right? The
Because
orientation.
then as
Oh, you didn't get it?
as a new person coming on board, you kind of know that right away.
I think that's a really good idea.
It doesn't,
And so
'cause
we
it's so
can
easy to lose
let
stuff
Lisa
like
know
that.
that.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
With turnover and stuff. All right, so is there additional discussion about the logo, or do we have a motion?
I'll motion to stick with the old logo. And again, acknowledge the appreciation for Aaron taking the time and for Jackie taking the time previously. It was an unintended, error just because of the turnover and us not knowing the history. So I motion to go back to the old logo.
I'll second that motion.
Further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
I
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, our next meeting is Monday, December 26th. Oh, this is saying that City Hall is closed that day, so we either need to reschedule or cancel. I missed that part. I know in the past we've canceled it. However, that doesn't give a whole lot of, the December meeting has been canceled due to holidays and family. However,
We're busy. We have a lot of stuff on our
that's
table.
kind of what I'm getting at. So I wonder if we potentially want to have Lisa send out some dates to reschedule.
I think that'd be a good idea, just considering the poster and essay contest, the human rights award, kind of everything we have going on.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Is that a motion
It's a motion.
from Ally?
Yes. I place a motion that we have Lisa send out a bunch of dates that we can choose from
For
for
December.
December, yeah.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I will second that motion.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. If there's nothing else to discuss, I would consider a motion to adjourn.
Motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned.